What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. If you're new, I like to react to video game music. I myself am a musician as well. I play the guitar. If you're not new, welcome back. This is going to be a Patreon Platinum request for Fly. Sen no Kiseki, Great Power, aka The Legend of Heroes. I'm guessing that's two different titles from two different countries. Great Power. I've had a lot of requests for Sen no Kiseki slash Legend of Heroes. Kind of confusing, but I now know that they're the same game. Never heard of it at all whatsoever. But it's from Falcom. That's a pretty well-known name in the community. Either way, new game, new video. Here we go. Wow, that was loud. Okay, quite the introduction. Sounds like a heartbeat in the background. Well, I definitely feel this one, like, in my chest. I can't even hear myself speak. Sheesh. Gosh, dude. From the beginning, just... Ooh. The song and I have both had a chance to breathe now. choir is so impressive. It's like haunting. All the percussion in the song is really low. Gosh. I feel like I've just like ascended to heaven, or I'm about to be ascended to heaven. Huge boss battle vibes to the max. In fact, that even sounded like final boss status, right? Like this is the end type of thing. Well, it lived up to its name. It's powerful as heck. One thing that stood out to me, ironically, a couple things did. I'm gonna kind of flip the script a little bit. One thing that stood out was like this kind of heartbeat sounding bass, I think it was. It was just like boom, 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 boom. Which is probably fitting because it, like, you feel the tension in that song, like something epic is happening right now. But the other thing that kind of caught my attention, this may come as a surprise, but what stood out to me is the fact that there was a lack of a lot of things. Now, no two songs are the same. This song was incredibly impressive, but everything was just kind of taking a back seat, and in the forefront were the orchestral hits and choir, like just in your face. Everything else was in the back. All the percussion was almost non-existent. The hi-hats, which are going super quick, almost non-existent. It was all just big theatrical ambience, which is kind of a double-edged sword. And I've said this before in Monster Hunter and a couple of other OSTs. I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea, but this kind of music serves strictly a purpose. So as opposed to melodies, riffs, choruses, etc., it's more like, throws you into the wolves and now you're in here. So it's more of, these kind of songs are built for an event and that event only. They kind of, for lack of a better word, they kind of all blend together. Now, you may have your pitchforks ready, but that's okay. Let me explain. Take any game that does this, whether it's, I don't know, God of War, Monster Hunter, whatever. They all have these sort of big theatrical ambient songs because the focus primarily is the story and the game. And then this is just serving a purpose. So it's almost kind of controversial here. It's almost like just listening to the music on its own just doesn't have anywhere near the same impact. And I can kind of prove that because when I did say this about Monster Hunter, a lot of people respectfully agreed with me. They weren't like, oh, you need the context, what do you create? But they just said, well, yeah, you need the context, of course. And it's just one of those, it's one of these songs that, they are all going to kind of sound this way to me, no matter from which game it is or anything. It's just more of a theatrical hit and power. So I definitely felt that, right? I did feel like kind of nervous, tension, and like, oh my god, what is, like, it's so loud and it's so big. But it's these kind of songs, either fortunately or unfortunately, they're I'm not gonna remember them just because it's just so, I can't even put it into words. But I don't want you to think that I'm like against these kind of songs. I love these kind of songs. This just all about context. Like, if you tell me that you saw that in person live, you can't tell me that you wouldn't enjoy that. That'd be so intense and so powerful. I'd probably even cry. But it's not the same when you're looking at an image and then you're just kind of hearing these like jarring sounds. And I say jarring in like a loudness way, not like a bad way. And I feel like I always have to kind of justify this. There is a difference between bad music and music you just kind of is just there, I guess. Has Jesse turned heel? Is this my villain story? But hopefully you know what I mean. It's not bad music. Bad music is completely different. That's, I wouldn't be rocking it. If anything, I probably would have like turned off the video or something and just made something up. I'm just being honest. It's really cool music, but also music that I won't remember. And the only way I think people remember this kind of stuff is because they remember the scene, the gameplay, and the story element that took place right there and then. Otherwise, I may have a hard time believing you if you say you remember the song on its own. But please, let me know. I am also just speaking my opinion. We all have our opinions, and we're entitled to our opinions. This is mine. It happens a lot in movies, happens a lot in these kind of big games, and hey, for what it is, it does the job. Think of it this way. Let's look at it at another perspective. Imagine this part of the story or whatever this is, wherever this takes place, and then imagine maybe just like a regular song. That wouldn't work either. You know what I mean? It's funny how that works. It's very black and white. So if I were to go through whatever scene this is, and it's just like, I don't know, a reggae song or something, that would be almost just as jarring and just be kind of like, what? So context is completely everything. That goes for any song I've heard on this channel, no doubt. But with these, especially these theatric ambient songs, they all kind of sound the same to me. I'm sorry, they do. And that's that. But great song, great talent, amazing choir, everything. I'm not just, I'm not trying to save face here. I'm being completely honest. The song's really impressive, but, if you ask me in a week about that one great power song, I'll remember the atmosphere. That's for sure. So it stuck with me some way. But, as far as melodies and stuff, the only thing I will remember was that little heartbeat thing, because that actually stood out. It stood out so much because of how different it was from the rest of the song, if that makes any sense. But hey, you guys can take my words however you want. You are watching my channel at the end of the day for my opinions. I hope you guys don't think that I'm going to absolutely love every single song that comes into my ears. I just like to hear what you guys like, and that's best for me. There are some requests that you can tell people have like tailored for Jesse per se, and that's cool and I appreciate it. But I always want to hear what you like, because if you love this, that's great. I don't think anything less of you. I'm not judging you. I'm telling you my opinion. This is the internet though. The internet gets a little, how dare you? But hey, that is my take. Lovely music. I need context. And until then, all these songs kind of blend together to me. And that's that. So, thank you, Fly, for the request, if you don't hate me. We should continue with your other requests. But speaking of requests, if you would like to make your own, there's Patreon or PayPal. Either are okay. You don't have to do either of them. They just guarantee that I will check out your song eventually. And yeah, it's a little bit of a wait, but you can do what Fly here did and then just expedite your request all the way to the front of the line. And, you know, that's just another option I have. Please tell me more about this game. Don't think I never want to check it out again. Actually, I'm checking out another one from the same series, so, you know, that's just the way it goes. I don't mind. But please let me know, you know, how else is the music? Is it just this song? Etc, etc. You know, I like to know everything because the only context I really get from these videos are from you guys in the comments when you tell me this. I try to avoid spoilers. Usually people are pretty good about spoilers. They'll like separate the comment, you know, and but I you know, I read all that stuff because I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it's not the same context as playing the game and being invoked into the world, but at least I can kind of get an idea. But before that, I just always watch the video blind and have no idea what's going on. So, which I guess is the whole appeal of this channel, is me just pretty much going in with a blindfold and listening to that. Anywho, my name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you dudes and dudettes in the next one. I'm gonna go check out some more Legend of Heroes, and I have more requests for it too in the queue. So take it easy. Have a good night.